I guess to start off with Dawson, obviously from Wellington, New Zealand, you had a great time there. You've got two amazing parents, super supportive parents. How did you get into soccer back in Wellington before going to college?
Um, I guess soccer is something I always grew up with and always kind of loved. And I guess my story is a little different to most. Um, for me, the reason I kind of wanted to go to college and play college soccer wasn't actually anything to do with soccer at the time. It was I basically turned on the TV one day onto ESPN. It was like a Sunday. I was bored, just browsing down Sky Sports. Went onto ESPN and found a thing called college football. And so, like, in New Zealand, we say college is like secondary school. So I was kind of like, oh, yo, like, who's playing type thing? Like, is there some big Auckland school versus a big Wellington school type thing? And
Right.
so I click it on. And it's a school called Clemson versus Alabama. And it happened to be the final, 2017 football final, American football. And I was watching it. And all these players were between the ages of 18 and 22. And so I was like, I didn't realize that was the age limit type thing. And
Right.
I was like, yo, these kids are young. Like, they're a couple of years older than me. There was over 80,000 people at the game. And I was like, and I just sat there and I was like, so these kids are like a couple of years older than me, playing in front of 80,000 people. I was like, this is crazy. I started doing a little bit of research type thing, right? And then I realized you can go to America and be something called a student athlete. And basically how it works is you play whatever your sport is, you get a college degree in America at the same time. So to me, it was like, it was just mind blowing because I'd never been experienced or seen anything like this before. So when I saw this was possible, basically then the dream of becoming a student athlete started.
That's amazing. We connected, just over a year and a half ago, and I remember being contacted by yourself, and you guys were interested in going into the college system. You had been to a trip in America, seen what it was like, and you were really keen to start the college process. And after networking with different options, we contacted Coach Castro at Marian University. You guys had a conversation and sort of clicked well for you, didn't it?
Yeah, so for me, it was basically I jumped on a Zoom call, kind of similar to this, one day with Coach Castro, who's the head coach at Marian University. Talked to him probably for about an hour. Heard the things he was saying to me. Like, at the time, I was like, yo, this guy seems like an amazing guy. Not only does he care about soccer, but the reason I connected with him so much was I felt the way he cared about me as a person. And to him, it was like, yeah, soccer's all well and good. But at the same time, my job as a coach is not only to make you a better player, but to become a better man in the process. You see, like, obviously for young men between sort of ages to 18 to 22, that a lot of that is kind of when you're maturing and you're becoming a young man type thing. So when I sort of started to hear this coach say things to me I'd never really heard before, like, yeah, soccer's great, but we got to teach you and show you how to become a young man type thing. That was just something I really connected with because I hadn't been experienced to it before. And then after that conversation, I just kind of went, yeah, I think this is the place for me. So then sort of signed probably 2-3 months later on.
Yep.
And came to Marian.
For those that don't know what the NAIA system is, which is what you're competing in, or what Marian is, what is the level like, and how can you sort of paint an image based about that level to give kids back here in New Zealand and also in Australia a good idea?
Where the real difference is athletically. So for me personally, like when I first came over as a freshman, I had the technical ability and everything like that. I had the size. I'm 6'3", 6'4". So I had the tools. However, the athleticism difference, that was where I was lacking. That was definitely one thing I found that was kind of hard coming over that I hadn't experienced back home. But sort of going into my second year, I now know pretty much everything type thing. So I'm just looking forward to get started again.
You touched on the athletic ability, though. What do you get access to that helps you become a better athlete? And what teams have you played against where athletically you're looking at them and you're thinking, damn, that guy's quick? Have you played against any like semi-professional, professional teams at all?
So I would say, like, for me personally, like I played against a few like USL2 teams, which is basically in America it goes like MLS, USL Championship, USL1, USL2. So the USL2 teams we played against are both going to be USL Championship teams next year, which is that would be equivalent in New Zealand to, it would be like in between ASB Premiership and the High Under A League. If there was like a league between those two, that's where that would sort of fit. So like good players type thing. But
there's a few All Whites in that USL team.
Yeah. Like so, like it's top players. Yeah. But the thing I would say to anyone is people look so much into like the levels in America. And what I mean by that is everyone is like, oh, yo, like you have to go D1. I have to be a D1 athlete and stuff. But the key is to look at the program very specifically. And what I mean by that is even though a school might be an NAIA school or a D2 school or even a D3 school, I have seen so many D2, D3, NAIA schools, even junior colleges, smack D1 schools. It happens pretty often. And you know what I mean about this, right? Like, you have to look very specifically in the school and like so like at Marian, for example, okay, so Marian's not a very big school. It's about 3,500, 4,000 people. So it's not very big. However, the facilities here, amazing. Like, to be real honest, not that many people, right, would have heard of Marian University before. However, the facilities we have at this little school in Indianapolis that no one's heard of, there's nothing like it in New Zealand. We have weight rooms that cost $7-8 million. We have gyms that cost millions and millions. We have baseball, softball, soccer, football, everything worth millions of dollars because in America, everything is just so big. Like every day I'm with trainers who train basically professional athletes type thing. I'm with like physios every day doing things on my body I've never had before where I'm getting cupping every day. I'm getting things like scraping. I'm getting electro stim. We have ice tubs, everything. We have 4 or 5 trainers with a couple of part-time trainers who come in. We have a chiropractor. We have exam rooms if someone does a serious injury, like an ACL, for example. Like, and we have all this at some little school that no one's heard of type thing.
Which professional athletes have you seen at your gym, Dawson? I know we've spoken about it on the phone, but I think people would love to hear what NAIA students get surrounded by.
Yeah, so our gym is very nice. So it would have been during sort of like March Madness, which was based in Indianapolis. So there was Blake Griffin, Kevin Durant came and worked out, who both played for Brooklyn Nets. For me, that's another one of the reasons why I came to Marian was because, so I'm 10 minutes from downtown Indianapolis. And what's insane for me is it's like, I get to go to an NFL game every Saturday. I get to go to a Pacers game every couple of days. I get to go to the Indy 500. Like, there's just so many things that you just can't do in New Zealand. Like, how many people could be like, oh yeah, like I went and watched Zion Williamson play on a Wednesday night. Yeah, I've done that. I've gone to Colts games. I've seen like so Tom Brady and so like it's doing things like that where it's like that's what I mean by experiences, because it's playing soccer is one part, but being able to do things you can't do back home is like such another big part.
That's so impressive. I'm glad that you're living it up and having a good time. So I guess like some advice for some athletes, Dawson. You've been there for a year now. You know, you're about to start your sophomore year this August, which is exciting. What are some advice that you could give to athletes like 15, 16 years of age that are, you know, second 11, first 11 in their high school team considering going to the States? You've shared some great advice already, but what are some other things that you could share with them?
I would say the two biggest things, and kind of like what Amrit said earlier, it might sound a little cringy, but one of the biggest things, honestly, is to believe in yourself. So like me personally, okay, so I went to Scots College in Wellington. So I played under 15Bs. I played second 11. I played like 2 games for my high school first 11 type thing. I wasn't a stellar player. You know what I mean? I wasn't the best. There are a lot of people better than me. But I had a dream. And if you truly want that dream to succeed, like you will find a way type thing. The biggest thing I would say, and it's something very simple, but it's things like running. And what I mean by that is like, it's running and working hard. You see, I always used to think that like I was working hard because I got up at 6 a.m. on a Monday morning. Dad drove me down to Wakefield Park to go to training type thing, like twice a week. To me, that was working hard. Like if I could go back now, I would be doing things like running every day. I'd be doing things like literally just getting 2 cones and just sprinting like 10 meters as quick as I could type thing, trying to get faster. Like it's all the little things you do that all help for the bigger picture. I would say to anyone, you almost want to have that mindset of like, if you truly want to be a college athlete, it's like every day when you wake up, you have that goal to be better than the last day type thing.
That is some great advice. I think that athletes that are 15, 16 years old, if you don't have a strength and conditioning program and you want to go to the States, you may struggle a little bit when you get there. If you have a videotape and you are trying to get a scholarship in the US and you're looking slow, coaches are not going to be as interested in you because they will be worried that you won't be able to keep up with the pace of the game. If you have got a good program at 14, 15 years of age, and you are quick and you're strong on the ball, you are setting yourself up for success, and you will definitely have more opportunities. And, you know, Dawson, it's great to hear how much of there is an emphasis on strength and conditioning. And it's great that you have access to amazing facilities. I mean, I think only athletes can dream of being in the same facility as one of the greatest NBA players of all time, like Kevin Durant, and you've done it, and you're there, you're around these people. Well, I'm really excited, man, and I cannot wait to see you in person when you come back to New Zealand eventually after the upcoming year. And I'm excited to watch the games live stream. You know, you're doing so well. It's great to catch up with your dad now and then, Malcolm, who's a great man, got one of the most amazing shoe stores on Lambton Quay. Bit of a shout out there, Malcolm. Yeah, I mean, it's just impressive to see how far you've come, man. And I cannot wait to see how the next year goes for you. So thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate your time. This is definitely going to inspire a lot of athletes and show to them that, you know, if they do believe in themselves, they can definitely get the opportunity that you have had. So thank you so much for your time, man.
No, thank you for having me.